And for more on this, let's now bring in political analyst, Professor Sandile Swana. He joins us now via our video link. Professor, thank you so much for your time this evening here in SABC News. I mean, let's start off here. You seem to be in agreement that, the request from DA leader John Steenhuisen, he's well within his right, considering that he is a GNU partner. What do you make of this overall request?
Yes, let's distinguish between the rights that arise from the GNU and the rights that arise from the Constitution. In constitutional terms, the president has got prerogative, which means it's exclusive rights. But if he wants to keep the GNU going, a consultation and accommodation of his GNU partners is absolutely necessary. So from that perspective, Steenhuisen as well, in advancing the interests of both the GNU and the DA, has got the right to say, this Mr. Dion George is not performing up to standard. We have a better candidate. Can we swap around out of the 6 positions that were given? So within that context, it is quite possible and it's reasonable for the DA to be quick to admit that we've allocated the wrong candidate.
And Professor, I mean, this has never happened before. It's our first time seeing this take place, where a minister of a political party is now asking the president to reshuffle his cabinet. And we'd all know that a reshuffling of cabinet is the prerogative of the president, because essentially it's his cabinet. How do we begin to navigate, this new space that the country finds itself, where we find ourselves in a government of national unity made up of different political parties who answer to, their senior people in their various political parties? How do we navigate this new space, particularly for a president who has his own prerogative of when to reshuffle his cabinet?
When scholars of constitutional law and electoral law comment on this, they will tell you that from the beginning, this constitution was designed to produce a coalition government. We have now reached that point. Now we've got to adjust ourselves to the fact that the idea that there's going to be a one party wins all is actually far removed. For the next 2 elections, we're not going to have any such things. So Ramaphosa, Steenhuisen, all the parties in the GNU need to understand that this is shared power. And because it is shared power, it is going to be a situation where everything is negotiated. We've seen what happens when things are not negotiated or disclosed timelessly. So that is why I was saying earlier on that it is good that they went to the Bosberat, discussed, and I'm sure that on the sidelines of this Bosberat, some of these things were discussed there as to how they've been leaked to the media and so on. It's another story. Because they need to conclude and make an announcement. But the announcement will still be made by the president using his own prerogative and may reshuffle the cabinet in other ways that we as the public may not anticipate. But certainly it appears to me that a cabinet reshuffle is on the cards already.
Yeah, and Professor, one would also then ask who determines, because I mean the reasons here given by a DA leader John Steenhuisen is due to underperformance. In a government of national unity and in a cabinet, who then determines what underperformance is?
No, Ramaphosa himself in 2018, he has told us that he's going to put every minister on a performance contract. Those performance contracts, and as far as I'm aware, have not been shared with the voting citizens of the Republic of South Africa. We don't know the criteria that have been used to determine what Dion has performed against, but obviously in some of those sectors, forestry, fisheries and so on, there are industry players who can comment about that, but that would not be fair because it should be scored against the performance contract that is signed with the president. So the president and the Department of Performance Evaluation and Monitoring are the ones who are supposed to give us the scorecard of Dion George, not necessarily Steenhuisen.
And Professor, I also just want to ask before I let you go, I mean, there is the DA's upcoming conference, which does take place next year. And one would then also ask that this sort of request from the DA leader, may this have also been influenced by the DA's upcoming conference next year?
Thank you, Mbali. I don't like commenting like that, things like that, in the sense that let's assume Dion is underperforming in the true sense. Then the next thing is going to turn around and say he's being removed for political reasons. We've seen many of these politicians, others are being arrested for crimes they've committed, then they say it's political reasons. Let's admit that even in the DA, at times there are people who do underperform and who do need to be removed. And when they are removed, until there's concrete evidence that they were performing well and they were removed for other hidden reasons, then we can comment about that. For now, let's assume the DA is very sincere, that Dion is underperforming and he needs to be removed. And we hope that the president will admit also that Dion is underperforming and remove him accordingly.
All right, Professor, thank you so much for your time. That's a political analyst, Professor Sandile Swana, there giving us his thoughts when it comes to the DA's request to President Cyril Ramaphosa to remove Dion George and replace him with the party spokesperson, Willie Aucamp, and of course that Ministry of Forestry and Fisheries as well as Environment. As you heard there from Sandile Swana, it seems as if there may be a cabinet reshuffle nearing soon.